Hey guys, Kev here, and I am gonna take one of these apart so that you guys can see the disassembly process on the Divo knives. Lush. I like to do this before a release every time, just so you guys have the context if you do end up taking your knife apart. So yeah, this one I've been carrying, the 80s, and I already took it apart, and I ended up gluing the pivot because I tried Loctite, it didn't hold, and I'm impatient. So I ended up just gluing it. So I'm not going to take this one apart. So it's going to be one of these two. I'm going to grab my Get Good screwdriver, and then I'm going to grab my awesome handy dandy Tinker Force tray. I think I'm going to try to get this whole setup in black so that maybe it doesn't grab your attention as much. Maybe the black one would be a little more subdued, but yeah, this thing is freaking amazing. Holds everything I need. If you guys are interested in stuff like this, check out Tinker Force's website. Very, very cool. So I'm gonna grab a T8. For this, you're gonna need a driver with a T8, and you're gonna need a driver with a T6. I explained that in the product overview sort of video that we do have T6s on this. So you can check that out if you want to hear why or whatever. But let me just see if any of these just come right out. And that guy wanted to come right on out. So we're going to go ahead and take apart this red one. And here we go. So this is the Divo Knives Lush, traditionalpocketknives.com exclusive knife. It will be available for order on the 14th of December at 1 p.m. Eastern at traditionalpocketknives.com only. Link is down below. You can use your favorite YouTuber's code or whatever and get $5 off. So it would be $194 with that code, $199 retail. It is S90V steel, titanium, and fat carbon or camo carbon. You have 80s camo carbon, lava flow, fat carbon, and Arctic fat carbon. They all have a machine satin S90V blade, and everything else is the same. It's just the inlays that are slightly different. We have T8s and T6s, and here we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this screw now so I don't have to worry about it later. All your knives will ship with a Divo cloth. At least they should. I sent them like a week ago. He should have them in time. But this is the red one. I sent, I believe, a batch of these blue ones. So you should get that 12 by 12. Really good for this kind of stuff. So what I like to do is keep all the screws in one place. In this case, just because I got all this other stuff, I'm going to drop that there. Switch over to, well, actually, I'm going to take the clip out. So you're going to take a T8 here on the clip as well. And it might spin because that is a barrel through there. And if you need to, just grab a finger bit, which I highly recommend. That is this guy right here from Skiff Workshop. I definitely recommend picking one of these up because it makes your life so much easier with these barrels. You just slot it in, and then you have pressure here you hold, and then you can use your other driver over here. But if you don't have that, use a stubby driver of some sort. You can see this wants to come out here. I think that it's just, yeah, it just wanted to loosen down on that side. So now you're going to want your T6 for this part. Now the tooling on these is really good. So I mentioned, I might as well re-explain it, but I don't like T6s, obviously. It's not ideal that we have T6s here, but Concept wanted to use them, and their reasoning was it keeps the scale kind of clean. You don't have these huge holes for T8 screws like you do on other knives like that. See how big that hole is, and it stands out, and that's their theory on that, and I kind of get it. And when we got the prototypes, we found their tooling was so good that it really, it wasn't a big deal. If they were shitty T6s, then yeah, but I mean, they're good, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to hold it upside down, but, you know, that's pretty good, if you ask me. So you get deep engagement, so she said, and we'll see. Let's see if we snap one here. I doubt it. I've played with these quite a bit. So, you know, just make sure your driver's all the way engaged, and then you're good to go. So you have those two T6s there, and then you have the scale that will pop off. You're going to need to take the scale off. So you might just need to give a little pressure from the front like that. You know, you can do whatever you need to. This screw down here is being covered by this part of the scale. So you might not be able to push on this side. You're going to want to push on this upper part because it's not tied down by that thing, if that makes sense. So here's a scale. There's that lava flow right there. And then we have one more T6 under here, okay? And again, good screw. Hey, I'm using a good screwdriver too. And there we have one more. So I'm going to go ahead and set these for the body screw. Actually, I'll leave them up there with that, and then I'll put this here so I don't mix them up. This is the Get Good screwdriver and base. Love this thing too. So then you just want to, I usually just open the knife at this point, and there you go. It's coming apart. Now, I have mentioned this in the past, but I'm actually going to leave that in because I do not want to forget which side the pivot goes through. It doesn't matter really because it's a, that's another thing to note. It's actually a spinning assembly. So I have no issues with that. I've talked in the past about this. Spinning barrel detent or pivots, I actually like them. But a lot of times that's because I can use this on this side to control it. Where D-shapes and captive pivots, sometimes things just get screwed up and it's harder to fix. With this, you just have two screws tightened on the end of a barrel. It's like, you know, it's a little harder to mess up. But sometimes it'll spin when you're trying to tighten it, and you just need something to hold it in place, and you use a driver. Easy peasy. But I know some people hate it, so might as well mention it. Now, the thing with this that some of you guys are going to find interesting is that it will not take skiff bearings. So, and I'll tell you why. But first, I want to point out that I opened the other one, the 80s one, and it also had this sharp kind of burr right here, and that is very normal. You see that on almost every knife because this is the lock side, the lock face side, so they don't need this side for anything. And it's not going to contact you at all, so they don't take the time to knock that off. I usually do, just because I'm a weirdo. I'll take my Leatherman with the diamond file, and I mean, it literally takes like one of these, and you can hit it a couple times. It's not gonna mess up your lockup or anything. I mean, assuming you're not putting the angle on this side. You want to stay away from the lockup side. But if you just kind of do this, smooth that out real quick, now that burr is basically gone, and it's not probably not going to catch my cloth like it was before. So you can do that if you want. I mean, it's literally just, I don't know. There's really no reason for it, but I just do it because I'm weird. All right. So the bearings, let's talk about it. The reason why you can't put skiffs in here stock is, you see that washer? This is a race washer. And let me grab my magnet here. Use this one, I guess. So they use these washers, and it's called a race washer. And what that means is it actually has a circle pattern milled into it. And that pattern fits the bearing that they have perfectly. So they've made these to fit their bearings and spin perfectly in that track. So those balls fit in there perfectly. Now, The Skiff bearings, they kind of fit in there. They're going to be the 5mm 1/16 11 ball. I already tried it on the 80s one just to see. And they'll fit in the track area. I don't think it would really be a problem. But the problem that you run into is they're too thick. So that cage is just a lot thicker, and it just doesn't work. It won't get centered. I mean, I could just show you real quick so you guys, because some people are still going to try it. I know it. So let me set these aside. And normally the Skiffs being a little thicker isn't a huge deal. But in this case, did I just put those on top back to back? Or I only took one out. I was like, wait, what did I do? So usually the thickness isn't the biggest deal, but in this case it is, because it just doesn't, nothing lines up right. Let me grab the pivot here. I'll just show you. Luckily with this knife, we don't really need to put the scale back on or anything. Let me zoom back out. I'll put the clip screw in just so you guys can see. That's another thing I wanted to note. If you guys really like slips or something, you can just put the clip screw in, take out the clip, and you'll just have two sides that look like that, and you could throw this in a slip. But there you go. So, I mean, on my 80s one, it went way too far to this side. On this one, it looks like it's not centering up. So I'll put the scale on because sometimes that'll, you know. And it's super tight right now. Like, yeah. So, I mean, I could try to loosen it a little bit. Sure, action kind of works, but now, I mean, it's just not going to work, all right? Trust me, I've tried. And then some of you are thinking, well, I have an idea. You're thinking, oh, well, I'll just flip those over. Because they don't have the race on this side. But the problem is, Concept accounted for that space. They accounted for that area where they drop into the track. So you, not only do you have a thinner cage, you also now have the balls dropped into this race washer. So flipping it over, it just makes it doubly thick, and it just doesn't work. So I have a theory, and I'm going to try it because I know some of you guys are just going to want to have skiffs. So let's just remember this goes through the lock side, all right? Lock side, lock side, lock side. So theory is, what if we throw some different washers in there? So let's see if that works. I should have some hardware. These are all clips, I think. I should have some hardware from the Stouts, and they came with washers. So should be the same size. So if my theory is correct, you might be able to throw one of these in there. And it does fall in, but it's, damn, I only have one in there. Hold on. Seriously? Oh, here we go. No, wait, what are these? I don't even know what these are from. These are from the F5.5. That would work too. Let's see if that works. They're a little thinner. That might work. These are a little thicker, I think. Yeah. Let's try these thin ones and see what happens. Let's put these back. Actually, these are not. These might be from those taco bearings. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's give this a shot. And then if I need to, I will hunt down. I'll just grab a kit for the stout. And I know there's washers in there, so that's not a problem. I just have to find it, that's all. So, all right, so I grabbed two, right? Yeah, one of them's stuck in there already. So let's take a little bit of KPL Original. Just to keep it in place. I should do it. Yep, all right. So this goes through the lock sign, Skiff, blade, Skiff, and whoops, and scale. Everything popped together. Whoops, okay. Okay, so it seems, I think it's starting to spin. I think it's too thin. Now it's too thin. See, you can't even see in there because it's too thin. So, because these washers are relatively on the thick side, so we're gonna have to try the other washers. So let's just try that. Doing it for science, guys. This is for you guys. All right. So these were a no-go. Where's that bag? I'll just chuck them in here. I don't care. All right. Let me just. Yeah. No. Okay. I have. Bear with me here. I also have ones from the. Try these. Why not? I have these from the MASH. Same concept. Get it? Concept. All right. So these are, yeah, these are a little thicker, so maybe these will work. Try this. Try not to mix up any screws here. Ugh, or hardware. Guess I'll test them and then we can, yeah, they're pretty similar to the ones I have from QSP. About the same. Possibly from the same exact place. But they are a little thicker than the ones we just tried. They fit in there pretty well. So let's give her a shot. Skiffs are in. Washers in. Other skiff. And other washer. This is the one from the QSP kit. So don't scream at your screen. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I can see in there, so that's good. Oh, and I got free action. All right, hold on. Hold your horses. Where's the, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Did I put the clip screw in the, did I put that in here? Yes, I did. Come on. Come on out of there, you little bastard. you guys. Looks centered too. All right, so we're centered. No play. Look at that. It worked. Fucking worked. All right. So apparently you can put skiffs in this knife. So you would have to have a kit from a stout, a mash. You would have to have a kit from some other QSP or Kubi knife. I mean, it's going to be pretty common. It's a pretty standard washer. I'll tell you the thickness because that might come in handy for you guys. Kids stole my calipers earlier, so zero this out. It's going to be really thin, so looks like it's about 0.02 of an inch. 0.5 millimeters. So half a millimeter washers. Does that help? And then you're looking at 10 millimeter, 9.64, 10 millimeters, 0.38 on the height there. And then obviously it's a 5 mil pocket. Let me switch that back to inches before yeah. All right. So, I'm pretty sure this is identical. Let me throw this down here. So let's put the knife back together all the way, and then we'll see if it, I mean, seems good. Detent seems, I mean, the detents are not strong on these knives, so feels right to me. All right. So this is the stock washer and bearing set. So like I said, you just can't use the stock washers with these bearings or with skiffs. It's just not going to work. You have to use them with these. So that's the downside here. But it looks like you can skiff this knife. So happy to report that. But we're going to finish this up first. Then we'll confirm that. So I'm going to grab my T6. Actually, let me take it apart again. I want to lubricate everything properly because I was really just testing there, you know. I didn't think that was going to work. So keep those washers in there. And then I'm going to clean the lock bar. Like that. Get any alcohol off of there. I think I did this already, didn't I? Clean all of that. And then we're going to use KPL Original on the bearings. I think I had already lubed these from when I tried to put them in my other one. And then this guy's going to go in the lock face, so I want to just put a little bit of heavy on there. There we go. And I'm going to take a Q-tip, clean out this detent hole. Yeah, there's some schmutz in there, so that's always good to clean out. In case that can, you know, make your detent feel a little lighter or feel like you have some lash or something. Yeah, I want to get rid of some of this. I don't want a lot. Ends up on my lock bar. All right. Pop the blade on. This on. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with assembly, reassembly, or disassembly, reassembly, because it just kind of goes together. There's not much, you know, tweaking needed. Not over tightening anything. I'm just trying to get it kind of together, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I probably need, where's the clip gonna go on this? I had it on the left side, so I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna get my little frame screw, this little T6 here. Put that in here. And then I'm gonna put this guy on. And that'll snap on. I mean, it's a tight fit. Really well done by Concept, I gotta say. T6 here. So again, this is where, you know, you're rocking T6s. You don't want to over torque them, but I've honestly found I can turn it till, you know, I can basically come to a dead stop with my hand pressure. Just normal. I'm not trying to over tighten it, but I can, you don't have to worry too much. Like, that's fine. And then the clip. Let's make sure it's centered. Yeah. Damn, I'm impressed. Skiff of ponies, baby. Bring this up a little. Let's see if I can squeeze those under there. Come on. Get your ass in there. There we go. You can put Lynch Northwest clips on here. I've tested that. So those are good to go. So here I'm spinning a little over here. So I'll just take my finger bit and I'll get her in there. Lock her in place like that. Hold it down, and then I can use this driver to do the tightening. Works perfectly. So we're dead centered. We don't have any lash or anything. Feels good. Again, we have that medium detent. Flick's great though. Little bit of play right now, but she's dropping. So let me just try to. Usually with these spinning barrels, even though it spins, you don't feel it spinning. It'll let you tighten it all the way down. No play at all. And I mean, it's a little tight, but you know, the skiffs would wear in. Now I can just back off a little bit. I just put a little pressure down. Back off a touch. See if we have play. No play. And there she goes. So, skiffs, baby. We got skiffs. She's skiffed. I don't know. I'm impressed with that. The fact that it centered up and everything with the skiffs is awesome. Right? So those were the Kubi washers from the mash kits that I have. Now, before you guys start hitting me up, I don't have a bunch of these. I don't know what I have left from the stout, maybe a few. So I'm not going to be able to just give everybody washers. So you're probably going to have to find these yourself. But I'm hopeful that those of you that are nerdy enough to want to figure out how to put skiffs in this, that you're probably going to have what you need, you know. But it works, which is cool. So that's how you disassemble and reassemble and skiff bearing swap the Divo Knives Lush TPK exclusive. So if you wanted that info, there you go. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that you're interested in our knives. And man, I'm really excited about these. The action on these is just, I mean, it's so, they're good stock, by the way. Here's the one I've been carrying. Where did I put it? This is with the stock bearings. That's what I was saying before. I don't even think they need skiffs. You know, I'm able to get it with no play, right? So there's no play there. Stability feels really good with those race washers. You know, I really can't tell a difference here. Tight, swings down. I mean, they're just, you know, really good. You will get the hang of the front flipper, I promise. At first, it might feel a little awkward. You might fail it. You might do this a lot. Just give it a second. Don't freak out. I know I tend to do that. If you want to use the front flipper portion, you just come up to the top right up here, all right? Right where it crosses over. We have it jimped all the way around, so you shouldn't be able to miss it. You get to that corner, and then you just bang, and it'll just fire out of there. Yeah, I can probably slow fail it if I do that, but if you just, it fires and it snaps. And then if you want to do the top flipper move, I recommend you come up to like the front half of it, put some pressure down, and then whip it back. You're not going to be able to just slow do it. I mean, I guess that worked, but for the most part, that's probably going to fail you. If you're on the back end of it, it's definitely going to fail you because you're farther away from the pendulum point or whatever. But if you're on that front half of it and you just drop it like a Bic lighter, bang, she'll pop out of there. And then the reach around, we made this aggressive up here, so that jimping is aggressive. You just catch that last 1 or 2 jimps and rip back. And because the detent isn't insane, you can do all these things without an issue. And then when you flick it, right, you can just put pressure, sideways pressure, gear up, and then fire, and you can get a real swift flick. Again, you can fail it. If you just do this, you can fail it. But you want to try to just flick, well, bam, like that. You can go to the bottom of the fuller if you want to, and it'll still fire, but it's definitely going to be way easier to fail down here. But still not a problem, you know. I just want to go over all that because I know I'm going to get questions about it. And you can even thumb flick this guy because we made this fuller pretty aggressive. So, you know, you can just thumb it out like that. It's going to, you know, take a little getting used to as well. You're definitely going to fail that one a lot at first. But see, there you go. It's harder on camera, but just give it a little wrist snap and it comes out of there. Yeah, because like I tested prototypes where I made the detents way stronger and it just doesn't work because you can't flip this without shredding your finger. You can't do this almost at all. You're definitely not doing a reach around with a super strong detent. And honestly, the reverse flick doesn't feel all that much better because you're able to gear up on this so well that it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah. Anyway, there you go. That's the Lush disassembly, reassembly, skiff bearing swap. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Drops on the 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I will catch you later.